think one of those traits that will affect our discussion here today is the unusually strong attachment and identity that the people of North Carolina have with their UNC system of higher education. I think that's really important. I think it's important, and because of that, I think it is extremely important to our political leaders. And that's why we have such a heavy involvement. And part of that is good, and part of it's bad. The good part is that the legislature appropriates over $2.5 billion a year to our 17 institution system. So that's a good thing. Now, on the other trait in North Carolina is that we've always had a very strong legislature and a weak governor system. And I think that came as a historic reaction to the royal governors during colonial days. So our appointment system for our governing body of the system is centralized with the legislature.
I'm very respectful of the fact that North Carolinians don't necessarily want to do anything Virginians did, and vice versa. But in Virginia, one of the things they did, because the Senate does indeed confirm the appointees to college boards, was that the governor set up a committee of people who were alums of institutions or were familiar enough with the institution in their region, businessmen, for example, and businessmen and women who worked with the institutions, that they got the first blush at making recommendations back to the General Assembly. And they were able to match people, not just because they were alums, but because they had particular skill sets. They also matched folks for gender and racial diversity, because many of our HBCUs in Virginia, had a totally black board, and many of our predominantly white institutions had, predominantly white boards. And then those boards that were having fiscal difficulty had nobody on their board who spoke finance, or, who were building a building, had no one who understood construction. And so this committee was able to look at the needs of each individual institution and match up potential board members to serve on those boards. That's kind of how you get the best of both sides, that the General Assembly still gets to pick and choose, but they have a more diverse group from which to choose, and it's made a difference.